So we're ready to go now, and before we go, we need to do fire groups. So I'll just show you how we've done that. So it's fairly straightforward. We've got no weapons now, so I've put the discovery scanner on trigger one and the heatsink launcher on trigger two. Now, the heatsink launcher you can put in the key bindings. You can put on a separate button if you want. It doesn't have to be on a trigger. So you can set it up however you want. I've done it trigger two, but like when you're doing combat and you're using your triggers for other things, it's handy to have the heatsink on a separate button, whichever one unassigned button you got on the keyboard, or button on your joystick or anything like that, so that you know where it is all the time because you'll need to react quickly. Um, when you're in combat and stuff like that. So, as a matter of course, you might want to bind that to your favourite key where you're always going to have it, and then have done with it like that. But so you have the choice. You can put a heatsink on a trigger or on um, on its own button. The same applies to chaff and shield cell banks. Charge up your shields if you ever use those. So those things I tend not to have on triggers. I always have them on uh, separate buttons. But you wouldn't see it in the key binding. So this is a simple way of doing it. Right. So we're ready to go now. So that brings me to the next thing. Now normally, what you do is just open up your galaxy map and put in Robigo and fly there. But there's one thing. This is the tricks I'm showing you. When you get there, there's going to be three factions offering the missions, and they don't know who you are, and so you're not going to be friendly or allied or anything like that with them. And so they offer you rubbish missions where you can hardly make any money, and you have to do loads of them before you can start making money. But we can shortcut that a bit and make a load of money at the time by collecting a load of astronomical data along the way. So when we get there, if we've got enough astronomical data to sell to the main faction, it'll make us instantly allied with them, and they'll give us the really high-paying missions straight away, which is a big bonus. So you're going to get extra money from those, plus you're going to get the money from the astronomical data, and the money we're going to get from the astronomical data is going to be about 10 million an hour while we're flying out there. So that's a lot more than we got for the combat, and it's nearly as much as what we're going to get for the actual doing the mission. So it's a worthwhile thing. So this is the what I'm going to show you now. Where is it? This tool. Uh, it's edtools.ddns.net. So if you just go there, wish you could give these people something. I don't know whether there's a donate thing, but it's a really good tool for mining and all sorts of other things. So the one we're interested in is Road to Riches. So you click on that, and this comes up. And what that does is it makes a circular route from wherever you are, and it'll find all the high value planets that's known to man and plot your route through them all. So you end up back where you started, but you'll have scanned a whole lot of, and just doing that, you can make 10 million an hour. If you fit a detailed surface scanner and then fly to those planets and do the complete surface scan, it goes up to about 30 million an hour, I think. So worth doing that. But I don't want to show you that for now. That's for another one. So all we're going to do is just like we did before with the FSS, just scan the system each to find these valuable planets. And I'll show you in detail how we do that. But in this case, because we're going from LHS 3615 to Robigo, this round one's not going to help us. But they put this straight line mode there. So now we can type in going from LHS 3615, there it is because I've done it before, going to Robigo, just type it in, and then get route. And you'll see that it brings up all these systems. So this is the first jump to formal Hote, then to Trappist 1, and then finally the last one down here, number 41, um, Regia something or other. And after that, the next jump, that's right next to Robigo, so the next jump would be to Robigo. But that's much more than what we need. So you can save those for later. You can do this any time. Wherever you are, just put in the thing, it'll find the route for you, and you can get loads of money for doing it if you want to. And it's better to do it with a proper explorer ship like a Diamondback. After you've got a load of money, fit out a Diamondback for optimized uh, exploration, jump range, and everything. And then it's obviously you can make money at a faster rate. Well, as this one, you got more jumps, so it slows you down a little bit. So that's too much for what we want. I figured out that 15 jumps or scanning systems is enough to get you what you need to get to Allied. So what you can do is change this. This is a deviation from the route. If you like, make it more of a straight line. Um, it's it finds less systems and it's quicker. So there we're now down to 36. It's still too many. So if we did 15, not enough. 12. It might be enough. But it's a bit nip and tuck. So I'm going to go for 20. It's a shame you can't do 17 because it put you right there. So there we go. We got 27 now. So that's going to get us about, I think, 16 million. So all we're going to do is go to Formal Out, find this one planet, scan it, and then get on to the next one, and so on. There'll be a few jumps in between some of these. You can see that's 37 light years. Sometimes it's one jump, maybe from there to there, to do the next one, and it takes about 90 minutes to get to Robigo doing this. But you're going to get 16 million for it. And then straight away you're going to get allied status with the main faction there. So this activity now is going to give you loads of things. So you're going to get money for doing the scanning. You're traveling distance, and it's going to unlock one of the engineers. It's going to get you up in the ranks for explorer. And then when you get there and you do the missions, it makes you allied with right factions to get all sorts of other benefits as well, permits and stuff like that. So overall, it's a very worthwhile thing to do. So right, without more further ado, we can get on our way. So what you want to do, yeah, first of all, copy the first one like this. Copy. And then go tab back to your game, or if you've got the thing open there. So open up your galaxy map. And then in the box, you can Control V to type it in. Saves. Oops. So there it is. Simple as that. 2 jumps. We got our fuel scoop. We're on our way. Now don't forget, we haven't got the auto docking computer anymore. We've got the manual one, so you have to lift off manually. So make sure you've got 0 throttle when the chocks come off. Otherwise, you scoot forward or back because you've got no shields. You don't want to bash into stuff. So just lift up, landing gear away, and don't bump into ships because it'll do a lot of damage now. So just keep an eye on the radar, what's around you. Once you're out, you can boost. So just point away from the other ships, like in the general direction of where you're going. So what you want to do is all the other systems, just honk them, and not only do you get a little bit of money for that, but it's handy for other things, like when you're trading and that, it brings in information about markets and other stuff. So it counts as a visited system, and you got the basic scan there, so it knows what planets are there and everything. So always, we're scooping now. So just this is how you scoop. Just fly around the planet. Now see that yellow line, the circular line next to the star. Never let the dot cross that over. So just fly around like that. And as soon as the fuel scoop's gone out, you can jump. So it's all fairly straightforward. Just fly round the star, keeping the dot outside that yellow line that comes when you move forward. If you stop, that yellow line disappears. So simple as that. So the fuel scoop's fully automatic. I'll show you a little bit more about it um, later, how to use it, because this is quite a fast one. So here we are at formal Haute. So I'm just going to scoop a little bit of fuel so that we're ready to go. That's probably enough. Turn away from the thing. Now what you want to do is where all the orbit lines are, you want them about a quarter of the way across your screen as you fly away from the star. Now look at the star on the radar. Once it starts shrinking down and goes down behind you, go to zero throttle and start your scanning off. I forgot, got to go back because I haven't got a trigger set on that one. So you've got to honk the system first. Oops, hit heat sink by mistake. Don't know how I did that. Right, so the one we're looking for now, the high value stars, I know where they are high value planets. If I'm looking at the filtered spectral analysis down the bottom, they're always in this range from about there to about there. These ones here, these are the big ones. These down here are all like the rocky bodies and small planets, what normally that are orbiting around these big ones. But the only one we're interested in is that one there. That's the high value one. So you can tune into that. Now it's just a question of finding it. There it is. Oh, it didn't take long. Scan it. Boom. Now we're ready to go to the next one. It says it was an Earth-like world. So back we go again. So now we open up the list, taking the next one, TRAPPIST 1, copy, galaxy map, Control V. There it is. And you can save a little bit of time. I'll just show you in a minute. So we're ready to go now. So while the frameshift drive's charging up, what you can do, you get the next one ready. Oop. There's not much room to get the cursor in there. Copy. That's. Oops, got the point. Yeah, I should have pointed at that first. I'll do it properly the next one. And it all saves, 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there. So when it's going to take you 90 minutes to get there, it can knock off like 10 minutes. So we're here again. So I'm just going to scoop for a bit. So there's the orbit lines. They're all over the places. And I know for a fact actually that this one, it's a bit weird. It's the planet you're looking for is so close that you've really got it. It's one of those ones in the list there. So if you're really close to the planets, it automatically scans them without doing anything. So I've got that one now. So I can just tell you from experience. You could have a look on your thing, but you'll see they're already done. So it's probably that one there is the high value one. So now I can open up my galaxy map because I've already got it in the memory. There it is there, 2 jumps. So I can point at it, and while it's doing the jump, this is I should have done it last time, get the next one. So there we are. That's ready for the next time then. Just saves a little bit of time. So I want to show you something about the fuel scoop at this one. Right, I've stopped now, and you can't see that yellow line around the star. We're not actually moving at the moment. I'm going to just honk it while I'm doing this. When you start moving forward, just open up the throttle a bit. You see that line come. So you've got to keep that dot outside it all the time. Otherwise, you fall into the star and burn up. You don't burn completely. You can get out, but you do a lot of damage. So moving forward, And when I get to a certain distance from it, there comes the fuel scoop. So if I stop there, you can see the heat is 55%, and I'm only scooping at 47 whatevers per second. As I move forward, the rate of scooping goes up, but so does the heat. But each time I stop, they stay more or less the same. And what happens is if you go up to, you can go anywhere. If I stop there, if you keep the heat below 65, you can sit there all day, go and make a cup of tea, go and take a break, do some scanning or do whatever you want to do while you're there, and you're quite safe. You won't overheat. But once it goes over 65, yeah, 67, if I stop now, it will continuously heat up. So once it gets to 80, in any circumstances, whatever ship you're in, you need to turn away from the. You get the warnings and things. There's no danger yet. It's when it goes over 100 you start taking damage. So just turn away from the at right angles to the star to get away as quickly as possible. So that's it. So if you've got like a small fuel scoop like you will have in some other builds, you might need to stop and scoop like that. So that's the thing. You just got to keep the heat below 65, and you can scoop there as long as you like. But be careful if you're doing missions, because the NPCs might try and interdict you while you're scooping like that. So don't go away, or if you're carrying cargo. But what you can do is just rotate round and point your tail towards the star. And what happens is to interdict you, they've got to get behind you. So they're a bit stupid. They go in their attempt to try and get behind you. They just fly into the star, and then you lose them like that. So it's one way of getting rid of them. So just go to the star and then point away from it. Right, so this one we got to scan. So fire off the discovery scanner as soon as you arrive while you're scooping. So now look for the orbit lines. There they are. Get them about there. Watch the star now on the radar until it's shrinking a bit. About there. Go to zero throttle and do your scanning. The reason you do that is because otherwise the star will block out the. You need that little bit of an angle on it, and you need it to shrink down enough that it's not going to block the ones behind it. Otherwise, you can't find the one you're looking for. And 9 times out of 10, it's always behind the star if you do it too quick. So here it is. So we know they're in this range. So that's what we're looking for. So now it's just a question of finding them. And it's these glowing blue things. I mean, you could scan everything, but it takes a lot longer. So once we found one of them, the others come fairly easy. I must have done it too quick. There it is, this one. No, it's on that. Right, when you've done the last one in the list of the planets you got to scan, then you use the galaxy map and just type in Robigo to get to the final destination. It's only a jump away, I think, from the last one. And when you arrive in Robigo, you need to head for Houser's Reach, which is a main station, and that's the one where we're going to call up our economy cabin that we put in storage. So we're not going to work from Houser's Reach. We're going to work from Robigo Mines, which is an outpost, but they've got no outfitting there. So we have to make this small diversion to Houser's Reach. You can do the passenger missions from here, but they don't pay as much. There's more of them. So if you're using an Anaconda with loads of compartments, this would be the one to come to. and you can't use the outpost anyway with an Anaconda. You get about the same money, but I'm assuming at the start of the game, like we are, so using a T6, you need to work from Robigo mines. Now, this one here is right in the inner ring, so you need to come in. It's about 45 degrees to the radius and about 30 degrees to the sort of level of the rings. So it's sort of a bit more to this side. So you want the station pointing to your left shoulder. So if you're doing the passenger missions, you need to get in and here, out of here, quickly and efficiently. A bit too high at the moment. Because they'll try and scan you as you're coming into the station. That's another advantage of the Robigo mines. There's no security there. So a single boost. Bear in mind that this ship does take a little bit more stopping. Oops. Well done. So you'll see the police circulating. So don't crash because you're going to lose all your data. You can use the docking computer to come in if you want because it's quite safe here, but don't use that if you're doing any missions. You have to do it, come in manually because speed is important. So 0 throttle. Don't forget we've got no shield, so any bumping into anything could wipe you out if you do it too much. So starport services go straight to outfitting. We can't fit it at this moment. We just got to call it out. We'll come back later for it. It takes an hour and something to transfer. Stored modules transfer to this location. You have to pay a small amount. It's not much. So hour and 24 minutes. So you can make a note of the time. That's when you're ready to come back for it. So now we've got to go to Robigo mines. I'm just going to get that heatsink that I accidentally fired off. This is fairly straightforward, but you got to be careful. You got the rings outside and planets as well, so you need to start fly away from them. Once you get slowed down, just watch the other ships around. So once you're out, you can navigate to Robigo mines. There it is. They keep boosting. There's big ships behind that's slowing us down a bit. That's it. So just here, you can see where the big planet is on the radar. So we are sort of more or less turning away from that, so it's not too bad this time. Depends which way it's orientated. Sometimes you're flying towards the planet, and that just stops you dead. when you get to Robigo mines, just be careful where the station is relative to the rings. Sometimes not clear whether it's in front or behind. So what you could do is like go round to the side so that you get the rings flat ways on. But once, as long as there's no grey behind it, you're okay. If you're not sure what side it is, go to the edge and look that side, and you can then see whether it's above or below the rings. As I said, there's no grey behind it. You're clear to go straight. And just be careful of also when you're doing the missions, the planets. If the station's behind the planet, it'll slow you down a lot. So just keep clear of the planet. So loop round to the station. Doesn't matter what direction you come to the station or the outpost from, because it's an outpost. Doesn't have a slot. But you do sort of want to come in the same way each time because you learn where the landing pad is then, and time is important. If you want to do 5 trips in an hour, seconds count. So you'll practice the way to do it, but you need to see where you can save seconds. So single boost again. Request docking. So when you don't know where the the landing pad is like that, this is a little trick. Just hold your down thruster and boost, and you rotate round. You see, and that way you're pointing at it all the time, and you can see when it comes into view. We want number 5. I think that's it over there. That's it. So now I can stop my thruster, down thrust. So you need to practice like coming in close like this, and then just go 0 throttle now. Let the docking computer do the last bit. But you've got to be careful not to bash into the station. If you've got passengers on board, your missions will fail. You must never bump into the landing pad or the station. That's also important when you leave. It's dead easy if you boost too soon to boost into the structure, with your landing gear or whatever. So it's just refuel. So that's it for getting here. Now we need to sell that data before anything. So we go to Universal Cartographics, and you see we should have millions. Yeah, 14 million. So I worked out about 10 million an hour coming up here, scanning those planets. I think it took me about an hour and 20 minutes. So that incoming message now is telling us that we've become allied. So if you see it up here. Sirius Corporation reputation change. Consider an ally of Sirius. There you go. So that means we're going to get the best missions from them now. And you'll see some other things as well. Because we've sold all that data. We've gone up in Explorer rank as well. So we're now a Pathfinder. So you could carry on doing that when you've got, it's about 1 billion. So is it 1 billion? I think so. It used to be less than that, but so you can keep doing the rotary, especially if you use the surface scanner to get 30 million an hour. So that would be 30 hours, and you got your elites, the Explorer, and that gets you into Shinrata Desra for all the nice stuff in there and whatever. So you see all these other things. We got rep with the Sirius Corporation, which is important. I think that's one of the engineers, and it's a permit you need for one of the engineers or something like that. Yeah, so we done. Oh, the other thing I forgot to show you is Felicity. We got an invite. You would have got a message along the way. Once you've done 250 light years from start, you get an invite to Felicity Farseer there. Now she's good. She does frame shift drives, so she's just going to select the stuff, collect the stuff she needs. You can go there and upgrade your frame shift drive for even more jump range, and there's one or two other things you can do as well. So